do you want to become? And I ask that because who you are now is not who you will remain. Who you are now is not who you're going to stay. And no, you should be. You know when everybody's like, oh, you changed. You know, has everybody ever said that to you, Martha? Oh, you've changed. Like it's a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. If we're doing life right, you should always be adjusting, adapting, and changing, right? If I were to go meet somebody who I went to high school with, they'd say, I changed. They wouldn't recognize me, right? Same idea with somebody who I met 2 years ago or 15 years ago. Like I'm changing every month, every day, every year. And we should be. So who you are now is not going to be who you're going to become, which is really exciting. Which is really, really exciting because all the negative things you don't like about yourself, all the bad habits you have, all the insecurities you have, if you're working every day, okay, those are going to be gone. You're going to be a new person, which is really, really exciting. And the point of this all, right? Because the industry, like I said before, like we always keep saying, the industry keeps feeding you external fixes, right, Martha? But what's the only thing that will ever work? An internal shift, an internal fix, right? Which by now is drilled into your guys' heads, which is really, really awesome. But yeah, so since it's you and me, Martha, let's do like a one-on-one. Oh yeah, unmute you here. How can I unmute you? You wanna unmute yourself? Cool.
Hi. Happy Easter.
I still can't hear ya. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't. Oh, there you go. Yep, gotcha.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
How are you?
Good, good, good. Loving Easter. Right now, actually, you know what's going on right now in my house? So every family day, the girls in the house do a baking contest. And that was like, we've done that for 3 years. And now this year we said, okay, for Easter, the boys have to do a baking contest.
Oh,
Right now in the kitchen, they're doing a bake-off, and it's a disaster. I'm so excited. It's going to be hilarious.
I can imagine the mess they're going to create.
I know, and we're gonna obviously be behind them cleaning up, of course. But yeah, so yeah, my day's fun. I'm excited to go see the mess they're creating. But yeah, so what I want to do with you, Martha, since it's just you and me, let's get like real, let's delve real deep on this. So I was talking about like your future self, right? It changes, you're gonna evolve, and so you should, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to create, and I want you to know exactly who you're gonna become, so that every day you can make a conscious decision to work towards that person. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so we need to really, really break down what this future vision is. So do you have an idea? You have an idea in your head of who you want to become?
Oh, wow.
Or what she looks like, or what she does? Do you have something in there?
You know what? I've always been the type that people have always told me that I put others first, always.
Okay.
And it's not something where that I guess I do it on purpose. It's just in me. I'm always looking to help others. But then I always say I want to do more. And I don't know why. It's just with everything that's happening right now. Yeah, it's scary, but at the same time, I want to go out there and help.
That's amazing.
But I hold myself back because it's like, what am I going to expose myself to?
Mm-hmm. So it's like always this battle.
Yes.
Like when should you be selfless and when should you be selfish?
Yes.
Very hard to decide.
And when you live alone, and if you happen to get sick, then you're not going to have someone to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been told, because I know a few that have either friends that have gone through this, mild symptoms and everything, where they have a hard time getting out of bed. They're having a hard time breathing at nighttime. So it's kind of scary to try to go through that by yourself if you have no one else in your house to help you, just in case.
It's a scary thought for sure.
Yeah, so that's where I stepped back. I said, maybe I shouldn't, but inside of me, I want to be out there and I want to help somehow, just even if it's delivering food to, the elderly, dropping off equipment to nursing homes or whatever. It's just something in me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just.
That's a great quality. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah,
It's not, but sometimes people have said that quality sometimes will backfire because people will take advantage of you.
that's what it is. And usually it comes like that quality. I know a lot of people with it. It's a great quality. It's funny. Some of our greatest qualities, and I was talking to Ryan about this a while ago, some of our greatest qualities come from our biggest insecurities. And what I mean by that, an example of this, like I'm the same way, like I want to give, I want to help. And it came from a place of always wanting to be liked. It came from a place of me being bullied when I was younger and wanting to fit in and wanting people to like me. And what's cool is I've turned it into a good trait. It didn't start from a good thing, but I've kind of reclaimed it and turned it into a good trait. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's really, really cool. Like all of your good traits usually stem from an insecurity. It's really crazy to think. But if you can recognize that and kind of repurpose them, you're on the right track. Instead of, again, you want to change who you are. So just because you developed it because of you were this, insecure, small, scared, anxious little girl doesn't mean that good character trait has to go away just because you changed. You just repurposed it. And that's really awesome because that goes right in line with what we're going to talk about today. So look at you reading my mind. So having said that, I want to go really, really deep, and I want to paint a huge detailed picture of the woman that you're going to become. Okay? Because you can't keep working day in and day out, and you can't keep pushing through days that it's hard and not know what you're working for. Right? So let's start really broad. What does future you, what's the name of future you? Give yourself a name.
A name.
Yeah. Sexy Martha or something. Like what's that name that signifies the future you? Powerful Martha. Take a second. It's big because that's what we're gonna call her.
Yeah.
And it can change.
It is big, but I don't look at myself as being, let's say, a powerful person or a sexy person. Down the road, I just want to be, I guess, at peace with myself.
Peaceful Martha?
Whatever route I take, I want to be at peace. Looking back on my life, it's like, yeah, there's, you go through the ups and downs in your life, but I want to be able to sit there and say, yeah, okay. Yes, I've had my bad days, my bad moments, but I am at peace. Whatever happened, and I've dealt with it, and I've moved forward, and I'm happy with who I am at the time.
Beautiful. So yeah, we'll call her Peaceful Martha. How about that? Okay. So we're working towards Peaceful Martha, like truly future you is at peace with your decisions, at peace with your body, at peace with things you can't control, all that stuff. So I love that. So we'll go Peaceful Martha. Now, Peaceful Martha, what does she look like? What does she look like?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is. Start broad. So what weight is she? What weight is she? What weight can she maintain all year round?
What weight can I maintain as I get older? I would probably say 130, 135.
Cool. So Peaceful Martha weighs about 130, 135. Now, what does she wear?
Comfortable clothes, for sure.
Comfortable clothes, stylish clothes.
I've never been the type of, I'll use Angela as an example. Angela is, when you look at her, whether it's the weekend or the weekday, she's always very fashionable. No matter, the jeans or whatever. And I'm more of the laid back, more comfortable, khaki, shorts, flip-flops, tank tops. If I have to dress up, I'll dress up, but it's not something that I do day in and day out. So my style and my look will probably be more the casual.
Cool.
Where if I wanted just to throw on a top or a sweater, that's what I'll do. That's what I feel comfortable with. Like I told Ryan when we spoke, right now, for me personally, if I wear something fitted, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, so there we go. So that's it. So Peaceful Martha can wear fitted clothes. She wears fitted clothes. She's 130 and she wears fitted clothes all year round. And she doesn't even think about it. Okay. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're building. We got to build. So this is where you are now. That's what changes in the future. So Peaceful Martha doesn't care. Peaceful Martha wears what she wants. She can try it on off the rack. She doesn't have breakdowns in the change room. She doesn't wear baggy clothes to hide her stomach. None of that. She's confident. She wears fitted clothes. She feels cute. She doesn't, think too much about what to wear. She doesn't think I don't fit in clothes. She just wears what she wants. So it's not on her mind as much. So that's an important distinction. So there we go. So she's 130 year round. She wears fitted clothes. What does she do? What's different? What is this new Peaceful Martha? What has that opened up for you? What experiences can you actually be a part of now? What opportunities have you been given because of who you've become? For example, would be like, did you get a promotion in work because you got more confident or you had more energy and can focus more? Things like that.
I think it's the more energy.
Love it.
Staying active.
Okay, so let's go to figure out what that means, now. So not having energy, what does that hold you back from now?
Where right now doing this boot camp, there's an incentive of, getting up every day and doing the workouts, watching when I'm eating. It's like I've said before, I'm bad when it comes to eating habits. Right. Angela can tell you that. The snacks I'll crave. I went to grab Tim's yesterday and I was telling Angela, I'm standing there waiting and I'm just looking at the Timbits. It's like, oh, I wish I could have one. Or it's like, maybe I'll get a plain donut and maybe have a sixth of it now and then another piece tomorrow or whatever. I never did get anything, but it's those cravings. I understand will be the days where you cheat. But I don't want to get into that, I guess, routine where it's like, in order for me to keep the weight off, I have to stay away from a lot of the treats and stuff. So I want to be able to have some of it, but not overdo it.
Yeah. So then Peaceful Martha would not have these crazy, uncontrollable cravings. Peaceful Martha figured it out. She's conquered her cravings. She's figured out the balance. She's figured out how to modify and have everything in modification. That's something does that suit like something that you'd like to attain?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay. So that's so Peaceful Martha has overcome the control that food has over her. Seriously. Right? That's what we have to work towards. So it's like let's break it down like that. So what else has Peaceful Martha overcome? What other bad habits does she no longer have? Did she fix? So do you make?
I guess what we talked about before is that worrisome part.
Okay.
Just thinking. So trying to get past that.
So she's not an overthinker?
Yeah. The last few days hasn't been so bad. I have been, doing either video chats over WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger with family back in Ecuador or New York. So I guess talking to them has calmed my nerves down a bit. Okay. I know that situations aren't the best in those areas, but just talking to them makes a bit easier. Just to know that they're safe. So getting beyond this where I worry too much is something that I want to work towards where, I can wake up in the day and say, okay, today's going to be good and people are good and people are safe and happy and enjoying life.
Yes.
Not worrying about the little things that I can't control.
So not worrying about what you can't control. So Peaceful Martha has overcome that. Peaceful Martha doesn't overthink. She changes what she can and accepts what she can't change. Like the little serenity prayer we talked about last week. Now, what changed in Martha's mindset? What mindset does Peaceful Martha have?
Basically that we can't control everything.
There you go.
We can't control, you might have your day planned to do certain things, accomplish things, but not everything will work out as you've planned it. And it's just adjusting to whatever happens. So what's the point of worrying, oh my gosh, I never got this done and that done? There's always tomorrow. and it's not a big deal if you can't accomplish it today. It's a different story if there's a deadline you have to meet and
Yep.
you meet that deadline, because there you had some control to try to meet it. But if it's something where you weren't able to get to visit someone that day, or buy something, or help someone, there's always the next day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So now those are some really good points. So Peaceful Martha is her name. Envision her. Close your eyes. Envision her. She wears fitted clothes. She's 130 pounds all year round. Okay, she doesn't sweat the small stuff, right? She's confident. She knows when to be selfish and when to be selfless. She's figured all this stuff out. She has a great outlook. She doesn't stress over the things she can't control. Like, these are great points. And these are all things that now you know, and now you have this little list of what Peaceful Martha needs to become. Now you can make conscious decisions towards that every day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so, you know, you don't want to sweat the small stuff. So say if you choose to worry about X, if you choose to do that today, you're choosing not to become Peaceful Martha. So not sweating the small stuff becomes a lot easier to do, or to start to tackle, when you know that by doing the opposite of that, you're saying no to that person you want to become. You're giving yourself permission to never reach her by doing those things that go against her. So this is a really cool tool to use to help you in the heat of the moment of acting healthy, acting unhealthy, being positive versus being negative. Do you see what I mean here?
Yes.
So it's a really, really good tool. So what I do, I have a list, and what I want you to do after this call, I want you to write down, I want you to go over it again, okay? Because it takes a second to actually dive deep. And it's really hard because you have to uncover all your insecurities, okay? You're going to get defensive because you're going to sometimes not want to accept that that's who you are, because we all have an idea of who we are. Then there's actually who we are, right? So dive deep. You're lay out all your insecurities, all your excuses, everything you don't like and want to change. And then you write down Peaceful Martha. Peaceful Martha has overcome X. She's overcome X. She doesn't think like X. She doesn't make X excuse anymore. And then what I've posted this on my bathroom mirror. And anytime I'm struggling, like, oh, I really want that piece of cake, or I really want that Tim Hortons donut, I read this list. And I said, if I have that donut, I'm giving myself permission to never become future Madison. And that statement makes it so much easier for me to make the right decision in the moment. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So that's a really cool tactic for you to use. So that's awesome. We have some really good points. Get even deeper with it, like get specific. So what do you worry about, right? What do you get anxious over specifically? Not just a broad topic, specifically. Okay, so you can start writing those down and then post it on your mirror. And let's move over to Angela. Unmute yourself, girl.
Ryan. Okay.
Hey, girl.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, not much. I like that we have the matching earrings.
Yay. Happy Sunday, happy Easter. Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Easter. You came. I'm excited.
Well, actually, I was trying to, and I don't know. I swear to God, I must be like a technological moron, because I think I invited everybody on my Facebook to this call when I was what the hell, because I'm seeing all these messages on my phone pop up saying I can't connect, it says the video's not available, and I'm like, you're not in this group, what the hell? So clearly I'm trying to connect and I'm clicking on everything, and I totally invited everybody on my Facebook. So if you happen to see a whole pile of not authorized people trying to get in, that was probably me.
That's funny. Oops. Oh, well, you got excited. No big deal. Okay, let's kind of get into this. So basically what we're doing is I want to create a clearer version of who you're going to become, right? And this kind of comes back to, in today's society, we focus a lot on how we feel. Like, I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel good. I think I'm losing weight. Like, I think and I feel a lot, but we need to live in a world of facts. Otherwise, we never actually have anything to measure. And when we can't measure, we don't get to where we want, right? You can't just build a house and like eyeball the wood. Like, you can't just, that looks like 3 feet. Like, you can't do that, right?
Yeah, you can, but you ever see what the results after that?
Weird looking house, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So I want to create a nice, just like I did for Martha, let's kind of dig deep and create a vision so you have a clear path of who you want to become, okay? So first of all, what we do is, who is your future self's name? So Martha was Peaceful Martha. That holds meaning to her. What is your future self name?
can I, I'm going to deviate from that because I'm actually not going to, I don't think I need to rename myself because I am myself. So it's just an evolution of self, but it's still me.
So we'll call you Angela. Just call you Angela. So this future Angela, okay? So what does she look like? So when you close your eyes and you envision who this person you want to evolve into, what does she look like?
Independent, strong. Are we talking like?
So let's start with just physical. Physically, what does she look like?
Perfect. More toned than I am now.
Well,
Few pounds, and I'm just saying a few because I did my weigh in today, and I'm what the heck was I? 111? That's 7 pounds less than what I want to be. I'm 7 pounds more than what I want to be.
yeah.
Is where I personally want to be, which is where I kind of live most of my life.
Okay.
But yeah, a little less of like some like extra little bit of fat.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to skim it a little bit. That's it. But other than that, the rest of me is there.
Cool. Any areas that you've really toned up that you really want to see a big difference? Like, do you want a bigger bum? Do you want some abs?
Midriff, my mid.
Oh, okay. Cool. So future Angela, she's about 104. She's got a nice toned tummy. Okay. Now, what kind of clothes does she wear? Has she gotten like more revealing, more tight?
I've always been a slim fit person.
Okay.
Martha, how the F do you get into those pants? I've always been a slim fit, but even through this journey where I'm not quite where I want to be, my clothing size hasn't changed. And this was a discussion I had with Ryan last week. He's like, put on a pair of tight pants. I'm like, dear God, I don't have a pair of tight pants.
Okay.
These are the exact same pants. They just don't fit quite the same.
Cool.
It's never been to the point where I've actually had to change clothing sizes.
Okay. So your body composition changing for sure. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what she looks like. So she's 104. She's still wearing nice fitted clothes. What does she do? So future Angela at 104 pounds, what does losing that weight allow you to do? Are there more opportunities you're given? Has your energy increased? Has your confidence increased?
Really confidence and my own personal, I'm a smidge more self-conscious now.
Yep.
So I think it would completely eliminate that.
Okay, now, so when you say self-conscious, how does that show up?
It doesn't. You mean outwardly show up?
Anything. What is your thought? Does it show up in your thought process every day? Does it determine what actions you take, what actions you don't take? Do you angle yourself in pictures? Do you maybe wear a stretchy pants? Do you not take a full body picture? Would you wear a high-waisted bathing suit? Like, what does self-conscious mean to you?
Yeah, they're actually, that's such a...
It's a big question because it's not very noticeable for you, but it's there. 100%
Well,
there somewhere.
It is noticeable for me. It's not noticeable for her. Like if she sees, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. So I notice it, but I don't think anybody else notices it. And then when I have this conversation and I've got friends, I mean, let's be realistic here. All of my friends are bigger than me.
Uh-huh.
It's just where I am. I'm not, and I don't mean that to say that in any derogatory sense. It's just, that's just how it is. I'm a small person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have this conversation with people, I get the raised eyebrows and the, come on, like disgusted, like looks or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I get that you don't get it, but I feel it and I notice it. So I know that nobody else notices it.
Yeah, what do you notice? What do you notice? How does it affect you?
I notice that when I'm sitting there in my jeans, I've got a little roll at the top of at the hem.
There we go. Keep going.
The waistband.
Yep.
Like that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that I notice. I notice that, in my older pictures, when I look at my arm, when I look at my arm,
yeah,
as I do this, I just have an arm. Whereas I used to have like all these crazy definition, like all this stuff. And I don't have that anymore. So I'm like, oh, where the heck did that go? Where did it go?
Got it. So you're
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I saw that facial expression.
Yeah, Martha's laughing at you. So basically, these are all things that affect you. So this future version of Angela doesn't feel those things anymore. She doesn't have those thought processes anymore. She doesn't look at her arm and think that. She doesn't think about her pants fitting, you know, like a little bit of spillage over her pants. That doesn't even cross her mind.
Right.
So
Right.
that's beautiful. So that's who we're building. 104 pounds. She's more confident. She doesn't have these negative self-images on her mind as frequently, because they do kind of always pop up in our minds throughout the day. Whether or not it's conscious or subconscious, they're there, and it controls how we act, what we do, what we wear, all that stuff. So that's good there. What are you able to do more of? So it's fair to say you're not happy with where you are right now. You're not necessarily unhappy, but you're not as happy as you can be.
Yeah. Okay, that's totally a fair statement, because I don't want it to say that I'm unhappy, because I'm not, but I'm not.
You could be happier.
Thrilled with, yes, I'm not 100% where I want to be.
Yeah, you could. So that you want to improve in some way, okay? Which means there's areas that you aren't happy with, okay? What is this unhappiness, no matter how small, what is it holding you back from doing? Because that is why, whatever it's holding you back from, that is exactly why you want to change it so much. If this reason wasn't here, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't want to change. You wouldn't want to improve. So what is it holding you back from? And that's really, really deep, because it's especially you in general, like a lot of people like Martha or Vishal, when you have a little bit more weight, you have more pain. There's more pain associated with it.
Right.
Like you're more outwardly uncomfortable. You know, you might be really unhappy with when you look in the mirror. You might cry when you try on clothes. Like there's deep, deep pain. For you, you're not so unhappy that it's outward pain like that. So it's really important to find out, why exactly do you even want to change?
Oh, because I just don't like it, and I can see pictures of where I was.
Okay, so not being where you were is upsetting to you.
That's what I'm just comparing myself to myself and going, I used to be that person. I used to do that. And I mean, what is different? And I know what happened. My routines changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Martha, I used to be at a very highly competitive level of sport, and I don't do that anymore. And that high level of sport burned all kinds of calories, and without me working out, because I'm not a gym person, without me working out, it worked me out just because of the nature of what I did. So that whole element is now missing. And so now it's changing my whole body. Like I had to physically push and move stuff without thinking that it would work. And that worked out my arms. Holy crap, my arms will kick ass. And then like the amount of weight that I had to move with my legs, that gave my legs a workout. Well, I don't have any of that. And then the core strength required to do what I do. I don't do that anymore, so I don't have that. Okay. So I mean, just a progression of getting out of a sport that you're not into and kind of like, holy crap, look at what that actually did for me.
Okay, I love it. So this is where I love it. So this is good. I want to get really, really deep. This is really hard to do. So you're on a roll here. So you want to get back, okay, to what you used to be able to do, how you used to look, how you used to feel.
Correct.
Which is what we've established. Now, you not being that, why does that bother you?
Well, because I don't appear as fit.
And why do you want to appear fit? What does that mean about you now? What don't you like? Like, what does that, are you afraid, or do you not like what I think that means of you?
No, it has nothing to do with anybody else. Everybody else says, you look great. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay. So so who do you think that makes you if you can't do that?
Sorry, what was that?
So who do you think that makes you if you can't achieve that, if you're not that person anymore?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, then that makes me a has-been.
There you go, Angela.
Freaking hate. I don't want to be a has-been.
Trying to get a breakthrough. That's it. And the reason I bring this up, Angela, is because, like I was saying before, we have this idea of who we are, and then we have who we actually are. And if who we actually are doesn't line up with who we think we are, we get really upset. We get really defensive. And that's the feeling you're feeling, like a has-been. Who you want to be and who you are isn't lining up. And that's the reason that you want to change so much. It's not Like, we have to get deep. If you actually want to change, you have to get deep and have these breakthroughs. It can't just be, I want to look better. I want to be stronger. I want to play sports like I used to. That's not going to help you through the dark days. So I love it. That was a huge breakthrough. I'm so excited. Do you kind of get what I'm trying to get at, why I keep poking?
No, it just reinforces that I am a has-been. So I'm like, I don't know what's helping me here. It's making me feel worse.
So we have to find the pain. So the thing is finding the pain. And it's been very hard to find the pain for you.
Well, I feel it now.
Yes! As shitty as that feels, that means you're on the right track, okay? So we have this pain. So you're afraid of being a has-been or staying a has-been. I don't think you're a has-been, but at the end of the day, you don't give a shit about what I think because you sleep with yourself at night. You have to go to bed with your thoughts at night. Right. So that's your pain. That's why you're doing this. That's why you have to do this. That's why you have to become that future Angela. That's why we're trying to create this future Angela to get you out of those thoughts. Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, slowly. So the fact that we found your pain is really, really important. And I'm really, really impressed because that's not fun. That's not a fun, it's not fun to stare at a mirror like that. So we found your pain. Now you know what drives you. Now you know what the real problem is. Okay. And you can never, ever find a solution if you don't know what you're finding a solution to. So future Angela isn't a has-been. Future Angela is 104 pounds year round. Okay, she's still wearing her fitted clothes. She's not thinking about there's not a little roll spilling over her pants. She's not thinking about her arms not looking a certain way. She feels super strong. She's got her routine back. She doesn't feel like a has-been. She is stronger and more fit than she was in the past.
Oh, that's never gonna happen, but okay.
She's at a better spot mentally than she was in the past.
Yeah, okay,
there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important, and that's why I like doing this exercise to find that breakthrough. So that was amazing. I can tell by your face you're like, I'm not having it, but this is a really good thing. Okay, so that's what we're afraid of, and that's why you have to keep moving forward.
Yep.
Right. So basically the new habits and the new opportunity, you don't have that in the back of your mind. Future Angela doesn't have that in the back of her mind. She's not worried about that. It doesn't consume her actions because a lot of the things that we do, a lot of things that we say, how we act, what we wear, it's guided by the pain that we feel, whether or not we know it. And a lot of the times we don't, but that's where it stems from. So now you can consciously make more efforts and think, why am I doing this? Why am I actually saying this? And now you know where it's coming from. Follow me?
Gotcha.
Cool. So same thing as Martha, okay? So I want you to write down everything right now, bad habits, insecurities, however many there are. We all have them. Some have more than others. Some have more severe than others. Write down your insecurities, your fears, your bad habits. And then on the flip side, what does future Angela, what has she accomplished? Who does she embody? And who has she evolved into? Because she ain't no has-been. Not a has-been.
Well, kind of.
Never. I'm not going to let that happen. So then write down who this future, beautiful, strong woman is and the habits she now has, the new mindset she has, the new body she has. And then paste it just like I did. Paste it on your mirror. Read it every day so you can consciously make steps and consciously make the right decision towards future Angela. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally makes sense.
You feeling better now?
No, I'm good. Not everybody knows where I come from, and not everybody knows where everybody else comes from. So, I mean, there's history there. But anyway, yeah, it's all good.
Cool. So yeah, so do that exercise, kind of figure it out. And then it's super, super important to kind of face everything that we don't like about ourselves in the face. Because then we number one, we know what we want to change. And number two, we realize that it's not actually so bad.
Yeah, I hear you.
A lot of it's in our mind, right? So that's awesome. Thank you so much. That was huge. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Right. Vishal, last but not least. All right, my friend. What's your future self's name? Super Vishal, sexy Vishal. What are we gonna name him?
It's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just still taking one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe more mentally stronger Vishal.
Mentally stronger. So okay, I love that. Mentally tough Vishal. That'll be your name. Mentally tough Vishal. We'll go with that, okay? So what
Yeah.
does mentally tough Vishal look like? What does he look like physically?
Physically, maybe, to be very honest, I believe I'm plus minus 3 to 4, like 3 to 4 pounds from where I want to be forever for my life.
Which is what?
So I want to be on 160. I'm already on 154. So
Yep.
I'm okay. I want to build myself up from here.
Yeah, so you're looking to lose a little bit more fat, put on some more muscle.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct. And I have been checking for a few weeks now the way I am doing.
Mhm.
Maybe, I'm not losing a lot of weight, but definitely, whatever I'm losing, the good thing is that I'm losing the fat.
Yep.
I have been measuring it on my scale, a different scale actually, a smart scale.
Yep.
So, but long story short, to be very honest with you, I want to definitely, people have places where they want them to be more shining and
Mhm.
more happier about the things. So I have a few things like I used to be a big procrastinator.
Yeah.
Back, I was a lazy guy, and I used to eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the things changed. Things changed for good, for sure. And the other thing
Do
is
you
that
still procrastinate?
sorry,
Do you still procrastinate?
no, not really
Never.
at
You
all.
never procrastinate. Bullshit.
No, I don't.
Bullshit. I procrastinate.
No, so I'll tell you something. I was so lazy that I would not even get out of my chair to
Okay.
grab a glass of water.
Okay. Here we go.
And now I can, go and run and do anything,
Okay.
literally.
So that's really let's stop there. So mentally tough Vishal, future Vishal. Okay. You've already accomplished and overcome that bad habit of, let's just call it being lazy, being excessively lazy. Okay. Now that trait is still there in some form, much, much smaller, not as damaging. Okay. But it's there. Where does it show up? Think, where does that trait show up? Where do you still be a little bit lazy? Where do you still make excuses? What can you force yourself to do more of?
Maybe, I would like to have more sleep. I don't sleep at
Okay.
all. Like, I don't sleep much, maybe, a couple of hours at night.
Okay. And why is that?
So, I don't know.
Do you have trouble
I
falling
just,
asleep?
no, not really. Like, I like reading, so I just keep reading.
Okay. Okay. So there we go. So there's a good example. So you know that you should get more sleep, but you're enjoying reading too much to actually force yourself to do that task.
Yeah,
So
maybe yes.
that's where it pops up right now. It doesn't look the same. It's not as intense. It's not as damaging as what, you didn't even get out of your chair to have a glass of water. Like, you've come so freaking far. But that trait, it still pops up. It still pops up. We're imperfect. And our bad behavior patterns, we're always battling with them. It's a habit for a reason, because it's habitual. Yeah. It's very, very hard to break. So that's how that, not that like I'm saying don't read, because reading is a great habit, right? But that's how it comes up, right? You're sacrificing one for the other. And then in our head, we're kind of justifying why we're doing it. But that justification is your old habit showing up. Does that make sense?
Kind of, maybe, but it's not like that. If I'm up at the night, I keep munching. So
yes,
that's definitely a plus.
Yeah. You're not. You've controlled your cravings for sure. But my point is, even healthy habits sometimes aren't healthy. And what I mean by that is, when we find ourselves making justifications as to why we're doing something, generally we know we shouldn't be doing it, or we know we need to make change. So an example would be like, very mild example of this trait would be like, I don't feel like working out right now. I will work out later tonight. And it's a good intention and it's a good habit, but yes, you may work out later, but most of the time you don't work out later. So now, even though that justification is not toxic or not negative, Angela, even though it's not negative, that justification leads to an undesired outcome. So that's what I'm getting at. Even though these aren't outright negative behaviors anymore, and even though they're not outright unhealthy behaviors, sometimes they still peer up. They kind of rear their ugly head in ways that we still have control over, but we don't even know that we're doing it. So that's why I'm trying to dig so deep with you guys. And I'm really glad it's a small group so we can do that. And just on a side note, kudos to you guys. This is like super uncomfortable. Like I'm just getting all up in your business. So kudos to you guys. But yeah, so that was my thing. So mentally tough Vishal. Okay, he's overcome X, Y, and Z, but he still has X, Y, and Z to fix.
Oh yeah, there is always room to improvement.
Exactly. So what does this mentally tough future Vishal, what is his new mindset? What else has he overcome that you haven't yet?
I would say, I'm pretty much done with pleasing people. So
Ooh, we're getting deep. I like it.
so
Keep going. Explain to me. What has that done for you?
Maybe, sometimes people work selflessly for others
Mhm.
and then don't get at least 1% out of it. So maybe, that's what I am at right now.
Mhm.
So I'm working on that bit, to be very honest.
Cool.
How to say no. And even at work as well, because my work includes talking to so many stakeholders day in and day out.
Mhm.
So a no is something I'm really, really bad at. So I'm
Okay.
trying to learn the trade of saying no, how to say no.
Awesome. I love that. That's perfect. So mentally tough future Vishal has figured that out. He knows when to say no. He pleases people, but not where it sacrifices himself, right? And his own health. That's great. I love that. So future Vishal reaches this, right? He's now this new, evolved, like transcendent, knows when to say no. What does that allow you to do? What does that open up for you? New opportunities?
I would say, I am still working on it, and I have seen many plus sides onto that.
Okay, like?
If I'll talk about my work, I'm not sure how deep would you understand, but it helps me save lots of dollars at work,
Beautiful.
like hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Wow.
And in the personal relationships, I really do not use my mind much, to be very honest.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I'm still okay with
Yep,
everything.
that's
But
fine.
it is more on that, I want it to be a stronger mind in a healthy body. So healthy body definitely is, I'm almost there. I won't say that I'm perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm working on it. And yeah, definitely, looking for a healthy mind. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful. So
let's see.
recap. So mentally tough Vishal, this future you, okay? He's sitting at a muscular 160 all year round. He's got some abs showing because I know you want the abs, right? You're more confident, you're more strong, and you know when to say no. And that's the vision of who you need to work towards every day. So same thing as the other two ladies. You're going to write down a list of all your insecurities, all your bad habits, and on the flip side, who future you has to become, what habits he has to achieve, everything he's overcome to become this new person and beat those bad habits and insecurities. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, and then post that on your bathroom mirror. Read it whenever you're having trouble making a tough decision or you're in the heat of the moment, and it really, really helps clarify how to move forward.
I'll make it my computer wallpaper because that's what I use the most.
Or your phone background, like put it on your fridge, like anywhere. It's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Like one of mine is, I'm just trying to remember. It's in my bathroom. Mine is like always has, like, one of my habits is always has food on my mind. Always has food on my mind. Future me doesn't always have food on my mind. Future me looks at food as fuel. And when I'm craving and when I'm in the moment of just thinking, oh, one bite won't hurt, which it always does because it always spirals into more. When I'm in that moment of making that decision, I read that and I say, future me looks at food as fuel. Is that fuel? No. That decision becomes much easier for me to stick to. Does that make sense? So that's how it's applicable, guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing. Does anybody have any questions about that? Anybody want to chat a little bit more about that? No, we're all set. Cool. Vishal, you're almost done your challenge. That one's done on Tuesday. I know you sent us an email. I'll get back to you on that. Don't you worry about that. Other two ladies, keep strong, keep pushing through. Thank you for sharing. I really do appreciate it, guys. That was really, really awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Live workout on Tuesday.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Okay, so I want to understand about the dairy consumes. I'm not sure if this is the right forum to talk about it.
The dairy.
The dairy, because
Dairy, okay.
coming back from a vegetarian background.
Yep.
I eat a lot of dairy, and
Yep.
my stomach is upset.
From the dairy?
Yeah, from the dairy.
Do you
But
know-
I don't have much options. Reason being, most of the protein that comes from in my diet is either from
Soy or
from
dairy.
soy.
Yeah. Do you know what dairy affects your stomach, or is it all dairy?
I don't know, to be very
Okay,
honest with you.
so you're
And I
gonna
have been,
have
I'm not really much down for last 1 week,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not really bothered at all,
Yes.
because I already am where I should be. I'm way down that.
Yep.
Way down than that. But my concern more is on, being healthy, because I feel that, my body's asking, my stomach is not right.
Yes. So pay attention, okay? So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna figure out what's the actual source of this discomfort, okay? So an example would be, I can handle Greek yogurt, my body cannot handle whey protein, right? Both from dairy, like both from milk, but one of them bothers me and one of them doesn't, right? So some dairies you can process, some of them you can't. You have to experiment with that. Okay.
Mhm.
It could be all dairy bothering you, which is a possibility. Like dairy and gluten are two of the the biggest sensitivities the world has right now. So it could be a combination of dairies. It could just be one bothering you. Are you still having your protein shakes?
Yeah, I do.
Do they make you gassy that you know of? No?
No.
Okay. When you say your stomach's upset, it's not gassy. It's just like it's like a rock, right?
Yeah, more like that. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would do is I would cut out, or if you're going to have dairy, just have the same dairy in a day. So don't have different forms of it. So if you're going to have Greek yogurt, have Greek yogurt for your dairy sources. Does that make sense? And then,
Yeah, sure.
and then see how you feel at the end of the day. See how your bowel movements are, if they're there. I love talking about poop. What texture they are, all of that stuff, because it's really, really important. And then again, next day, change the dairy source. It could be a bunch of things. Like, to be honest, if I were to take a guess, the majority of North Americans have leaky gut. Have you heard of leaky gut before? Angela, have you heard of
No.
leaky gut? Martha?
I realized I was still muted. Sorry. I've heard of it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it.
Okay. Angela, have you heard, or Martha, have you heard of leaky gut?
I've heard about it. I have.
Okay. So basically, like, you'd probably be surprised. I bet all four of us have leaky gut right now. Like, I would put money down on all leaky gut. And basically what leaky gut is, it's just from a lifestyle of processed foods. Okay, processed foods. Even if we eat healthy foods, all of our food is literally processed. It's all processed. It's all in a package. It's all been through a plant, washed, chemicals, whatever. Everything is processed, and it just ruins the healthy bacteria in our gut. And because the healthy bacteria in our gut can't function properly, we don't digest food properly, which is going to, one, throw off our bowel movements. And number two, it actually just stops us from absorbing the proper nutrients. Okay, so almost everybody has some form of leaky gut. So that means you are not getting all your nutrients. You're almost wasting the food, okay? Now, how you fix that, okay, you have to obviously decrease the processed food as much as you can, because everything's processed. So a lot of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. And then you have to feed the healthy food, or feed the healthy bacteria, okay? So there's probiotics and there's prebiotics. You guys have probably heard that before. Probiotics are the actual, probiotics is the actual bacteria for the gut. Okay, prebiotics are the food that feeds the healthy bacteria. Because right now we all have bad bacteria in our stomach that's growing because of the sugars we eat. We want to feed the healthy bacteria and kill off the unhealthy bacteria so we can start absorbing all of our nutrients. Anyway, long story short, it's like plaguing the nation. It has tons of side effects you don't even know about. Either way, we all need to improve our healthy gut with probiotics, prebiotics, and you can also incorporate fermented products like apple cider vinegars, kombuchas.
Oh. I just had an epiphany. I'm like, oh, I got these, shit. Sorry, I just cussed. These, hold on. I don't know how to switch my camera, but.
Are they gummies? Yes, go for it.
Yeah.
So I have these and I'm like, oh, should I still be taking that? And it's like, I haven't been taking them because if it's not on the meal plan, you don't eat it. So I haven't been taking them, but I guess I should be then.
Yeah, take them. It does not hurt it doesn't hurt. It can only help your gut. You can also have regular apple cider vinegar in salad dressings. You can take a shot of it in the morning with some water. Kombucha, like I said, is good. That's why pickles are really good because they got vinegar in there. Sauerkraut's really good because they got vinegar in there. Kimchi as well. Kimchi's fermented. All the fermented foods are really, really good. And just to improve your gut health, because everybody could improve their gut health. No